Yo, what is good, YouTube, and welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we're ranking the top 10 best centers in the game, including gambling, and I'm going to be completely honest with y'all, this is a really disappointing list, but every single card on this list is a gambling center. I'm going to be honest with y'all, except for one. The number 10 spot has a non-gambling center on it. That being said, salary cap is giving us a dark matter to Dikembe Mutombo in like 2 weeks, and that card should be like a top 5 center in the game, including all these gambling centers and everything. He should be right there with these top 3 guys, I think. So I do think there is hope to a certain extent. Gasol is a good card. There's some other cards you could use the center position that aren't on this list, like Bill Russell. So hopefully we continue to get some other good non-gambling centers. But as of right now, unfortunately, the gambling center list is very stacked with gambling cards. So just is what it is. I'm being honest with my ranking, and it's a very gambling-heavy list. So before we hop into the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 25,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day. We'd really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. And without further ado, let's hop right into it. Starting off with number 10, who, like I said, is Marc Gasol, the only truly non-gambling center in this list. There is one other card in this list that you could get without gambling, or two technically, but y'all will see what I mean. 6'11" with 7'4" wingspan is Gasol. He's got good size. Not insane, but definitely good size. Badge-wise, very complete. He can shoot. He's an elite versatile defender. He dunks the ball at a high level. He's got pretty good speed, good shooter, very good versatile defender, and a good dunker. Release is not beautiful, but pretty quick, and Kobe dribble style is nice. He's a super solid all-around card, got good size, pretty versatile, very capable defender, super complete stats and badges. Really, really solid card. This list is just absolutely stacked, and I don't think he is enough of a shot creator. I don't think his release is elite enough. I don't think he is truly elite enough athletically, defensively, like versatility-wise because of his speed. I don't know. He's very good. He can definitely compete against pretty much all of these bigs, but I think number 10 is probably a fair spot. Number 9, and people are going to disagree with this card being this low, but Wilt Chamberlain. There's just so many good centers now. A guy like Wilt who does not have an elite release and also is not a very good shooter rating-wise. You boost his 3-ball up, it's an 80. You put a couple shooting badges on him, it'll help, but still, Wilt is not a gigantic threat as a pick-and-pop shooter whatsoever. He's an amazing dunker, one of the most versatile and elite defenders in the game. He's got an 8-foot wingspan and 7'1" height. About as good as any at guarding the true giant centers. He's a phenomenal, incredible card, but I do think his lack of shooting holds him back a bit. Number 8, and this feels, no, I'm switching my opinion on this. Number 8 is going to be David Robinson. I think D-Rob is good, but I will say D-Rob does not really have much playmaking ability, and he is 7'1" with 7'5" wingspan. He's got good size, but he's not an extraordinary, I mean, he's a very good shooter. He's got a nice release. I think his release may not be the fastest release of anybody on this list. It's only on quick. It is a good release. His fade isn't great. His sigs are not very good. He is still a really, really good card, and I almost feel like putting him 8 feels like it does him a little bit of a disservice because I like the card so much still, but honestly, all of these guys are very good, and they're all very close together, and I think number 8 is where I'm going to go with for him. Number 7 is going to be Ewing. The reason I put Ewing over D-Rob, yes, D-Rob has the better release. Ewing is the better playmaker. He's a little bit faster. Well, I think they have about the same speed, actually. They do have the same speed. I lied. He's a better playmaker. They're very similar size. Ewing is not as good of a shooter, I understand, but his sigs are much better. I do think defensively he's a little bit better as well, just the way that he plays. But honestly, the two cards are very close together. If you wanted to go D-Rob over Ewing, I can't argue with it. I just think definitely, me personally, I prefer the movement of Ewing. I really do like the card a lot. I was very impressed with him when I did gameplay with him, and I do think he's a little bit better than D-Rob just because of the versatility that he gives you as a playmaker with Kobe escape, good behind the back, all that type of stuff. Nate Thurman is who I have at number 6. Nate Thurman is an amazing card. His only, I guess, kind of flaw at the center position would be that he's only 6'11". I mean, that's the only thing, is that he's just not a gigantic card. But 94 speed, 85 3-ball, 98 standing and driving dunk, really good defender. I mean, he's a fast, pretty good playmaker as well. I like the card. He's got great sigs. His release is nice and easy. He's got a lower 3-ball, sure, but if you add some shooting badges to him, especially because his release is really, really nice, and 85 isn't that low. I think he's a phenomenal card. Really has great movement as well. The only reason, like I said, he's this low is because he's only 6'11". Number 5, Hakeem Olajuwon. He does not have the playmaking ability of Nate Thurman, but I do think he's a better overall card at the center position specifically. He's an inch taller. He looks more than an inch taller in my opinion. Speed-wise, they're quite similar. Shooting-wise, Hakeem's better as a base card, as a shooter. I will say that. I actually really like Hakeem's release as well. He's a phenomenal defender, and he gets some god-tier animations defensively. He is a phenomenal card. I feel like he is basically, in a lot of ways, he basically plays like Wilt, except with a better release and more shooting ability. Having Hoff Limitless as a base card is a really, really nice thing as well, and I do believe he is about as good as it gets at the center spot. Number 4, Gambling only galore. It's Bol Bol. Obviously, Bol Bol is 7'2" with a 7'8" wingspan, so that type of size is just something you can't overlook. His ability to play power forward is also really, really glitchy and really nice, but even at center, I think he's insane. You could maybe make the argument only golden movable enforcer. Defensive stats aren't quite as good, that he's a little below Hakeem. And I almost kind of want to, because his release is not unbelievably great. It is a good release. It's the same release he has every single year, basically. But it's not an unbelievably great release. Movement-wise, he is super duper solid. And again, he's 7'2". He's super glitchy. I think he's a little bit better than Hakeem. I do. It's close. My gut almost wants to put Hakeem over Bol Bol at center, but it's close, and I'm going to stick with Bol Bol because of the size, and I just think he's absolutely phenomenal. Top 3 is pretty distinct and pretty easy to me. Marc Eaton's number 3. He's 7'4" with the biggest player build at center position in the game, at least so far, of anybody who's good, I would say. His dunking and defense are next level incredible. He has actually good speed as well, especially for somebody his size. And yes, his 3-ball rating is low, but add a 3-point shoe and some badges to him, and he is a fine shooter. I like his release actually better than several of the cards on this list. I feel like he is a very, very capable shooter. You just shoot with him when he's open, and otherwise don't shoot with him. That's it. He can actually move kind of well too, especially for a 7'4" dude, which is kind of glitchy. And he's actually... card's kind of ridiculous, I'm not going to lie. But I do think there are 2 better. KP is one of them. 7'3", not quite as big as Eaton, but he's a much more complete base shooter. Has obviously all the Hoff shooting badges, and is still a really good versatile defender. They gave KP everything, including the Hoff immovable enforcer and brick wall and post lockdown, all that on the interior. 95 interior, 96 block. He's a good perimeter defender, especially at 7'3". He can actually put the ball on the floor at a pretty high level. Super complete, elite shooter, and a very good dunker. Phenomenal, phenomenal card. Has some decent movement with Kobe dribble style as well. But number 1 is Victor Wembanyama, and I don't think that's really that much up for debate. He has the lankiest player build in the game, probably, with his arms. Not quite as bulky, I would say. Definitely not as Eaton, but still. Very, very, very good shooter. Very complete. Pro 2 fade for some reason. I don't know whose idea that was, but why did they give him the best fade in the game? Movement-wise, not unbelievably insane, but very good, especially with Trey. Trey behind the back, and a pretty okay escape, MJ dribble style. He's 7'4" with 89 speed as a base card. This card is so stupid. He's insane defense. He is the best card in the game, but the best card at the center position in the game. I don't think he's the best card in the game because there's a couple guys that might be better. But he's very, very, very good. He's the best center in the game for sure. And if I could pick any card in the game to have right now for my collection, it would probably be Victor Wembanyama because I could really use a big. And he is absolutely insane. So, as I said, pretty much all gambling. Technically, Thurman is available without gambling, but if you get that many cards to collect him for collector level, you probably gambled a good amount and spent a bunch of money. Hakeem Olajuwon, you could buy him with VC this week for 75,000 VC, so that's technically not gambling, but still that was the only way he's been available without gambling yet, and that's still spending money. And then Marc Gasol is the only true non-gambling center on this list, which again kind of reiterates my point that we are in desperate need of good gambling or good non-gambling centers in my team. But we're going to be getting one in Dikembe pretty soon. Would not be surprised if we get a couple others within the next few weeks as potentially mode rewards or bold rewards or season 7 rewards. We will see about all that as well. But very, very good cards, obviously, on the center list. Unfortunately, pretty much all gambling. But still going to do it for this video. I hope y'all did enjoy. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.